It's not every day a Navy SEAL asks you to teach him something.
Rorke likes the tactical position of the spot.
So when SEAL Officer Rorke Denver says he wants to learn to hunt,
every time in the past 14 years I've had a backpack and a gun, I've been in charge. And the fact that you're in charge is like a treat.
I figure I better give him the full experience. For me, that means a backpack hunt for spring black bears in Alaska.
Oh, grizzly.
I'm Stephen Rinella. To me, hunting isn't only about the pursuit of an animal. It's about who we are and what we're made of. I live to hunt and hunt to live. I am a meat eater. On this hunt, I'm honored to be sharing the mountains with Commander Rorke Denver. Decorated Navy SEAL, author of the fascinating book Damn Few, Making the Modern SEAL Warrior, and one of the stars of the surprise hit film Act of Valor.
One of the things I'll miss the most about the tactical environment going into targets is sitting in helicopters. The doors open almost all the time. We almost never fly door closed. You're just sitting with your feet dangling while these unbelievable pilots are flying, mapping the earth up over the trees, hillsides. This is a roller coaster for big kids. I can imagine that being pretty exciting.
Rorke and I were connected through mutual friends because he wanted to learn to hunt as a way of easing out of 13 years of nonstop training and combat. I jumped at the opportunity to share some excitement and beauty with someone who has given so much to his country. It's my goal to give him an experience worthy of his abilities, so I'm taking him for spring black bears in Alaska, to a place where neither of us has ever set foot. We're on the southern slope of the Alaska Range, about 100 miles outside of Anchorage and about 75 miles from the nearest paved road.
Hey,
What's up, man?
Steve.
For a kickoff point, we're using the remote lodge of Buck Bowden of Hidden Alaska Guides, who I met way the hell over in Pennsylvania.
It's a nice setup you got, man.
Wow.
It's early June, and I've come here fully expecting clouds, rain, and hordes of mosquitoes. But instead, all we've seen is pure, glorious sunshine.
It's funny because as much as you've gotten to travel all around the world and like places that people will never go through work, places people don't want to go.
Yeah.
Your first trip to Alaska, I'm telling you, you're getting so far the wrong idea. I mean, it's just like beautiful. It's like beautiful.
This is the day. We just have, in this country, the most beautiful slice of the pie in the world. I mean, unbelievable. Afghanistan actually is one of the most beautiful places we've ever been. It sounds counterintuitive because of how dangerous it is, but it is just
the landscape.
Utterly primal, you know, and completely raw. You know, you're loaded to bear walking around ready for a fight. And that place is so raw that you feel like if a Tyrannosaurus Rex came around the corner, you'd just be like, yep.
Our plan is to hike out of here in the morning. We'll head toward a prominent ridge about 6 miles away. With the alders and willows leafing out, visibility at the lower elevations is gonna be pretty rough. So it'll be good to get up higher, where we'll be able to glass larger swaths of open ground. Of course, every hunting area being unique, it's always helpful to get tips from the locals.
Like you generally would say that we want to go up into that country up there and then maybe spill off the other side and go up
Yeah, you're going to be
some of the
wanting
valleys
to
to feed
head.
into the next valley down.
Yeah, head up northwest, which will take you up through the lower stuff here. You've got about 3 ridges to get into. The alders, the grass, they're not up high, so you'll be able to. You can see go through all the clearings getting up in there.
Yeah. So not much time passes between dusk and dawn right now.
No, there's not much in the way of morning or evening.
Yeah.
It just rolls right into. I mean, there is no night.
Yeah. So early mornings and then the last hours of the day, if you were gonna hunt, that's when you'd be doing it.
Right.
And then
exactly.
like take your nap during the daytime, fish during the daytime.
There you go. During the day, the bears are going to pretty much bed it up, especially when you've got weather like this. So during the day, you know, waste your time fishing. Yeah. It'd be rude not to.
It would be rude not to. Yeah. I hope you're focused on bear. You know, you start talking about 3 and 4 pound rainbows where I grew up. That's like dream fish. I know it's not a big thing here, but that like my mind's gonna be warped looking at that water.
It's 5 a.m. and time to get moving.
Well, all righty, man.
All righty.
Talk to you.
We'll see you in a few days.
Thanks, brother. So at this point, we don't need to be careful about busting through brush to get to a spot because we're just in transit to get to that one. Yeah.
My goal is just to get up into that high stuff where you can really start to see. Because, I mean, the bears aren't that dense, right? I mean, it's like you need to get up where you can look, because you need to look at a ton of ground to find one, and then go off after them. You'll know I'm serious about hunting when I sit down.
Yeah.
We got about a 6-mile hike to where we'll set up a base camp, and it's another absolutely gorgeous day.
Unbelievable.
As we climb toward the area that we've pre-selected for a base camp, I'm encouraged by a scattering of bear sign along the way.
There's a nice track.
At least I know there are some bears working the area.
That's our first piece of spring bear scat. It was kind of greasy in the spring, and just like it's just vegetation, you know, no bone fragments.
Yep.
Camp tree. Just pitch our stuff here, go mess around, check out the river.
Yep.
Glass all that junk for a while, but then at prime time, either be up on those up there or up this thing right here, then take a very short sleep and then come back out at dawn.
Yeah.
When was the last time you fished?
I haven't fished in a while now, but I mean, when I joined the Navy, I didn't fish for almost 6 years, really.
I can imagine.
8 years, just 'cause we were just gone.
Yeah.
My dad, brother, and I fished every year, multiple times a year, as long as I can remember.
He was a fisherman?
Oh, yeah. I'd say that's our favorite thing to do.
Is that right? What'd your dad think when you joined the Navy?
Well, it's his fault. He sent me a book, by Winston Churchill, and I read that book and knew I wanted to serve. I don't think it surprised him. I mean, I closed that book and called him and said, I'm joining the military.
You didn't fish the Euphrates or anything?
I didn't fish the Euphrates, but we were on a combat patrol, and I saw a guy hand lining what looked like carp, kind of bottom feeder fish in these ponds. I stopped our entire line of march, went over to my interpreter, started talking with him. And I said,
"What you catching?"
Yeah. And then I said, "Hey, you mind if I take a shot at it?" He hands me a line, and I catch one in full body armor. Because I figured, look, you win for life on that argument. So he says, well, I caught a 26-inch, whatever. Well, hey, I caught one with mortars coming in, man.
Truth be told, when we came up on the river, we could see that it was all chalky and running high. So it's no shocker when we come up empty. But as most fishermen will tell you, fishing isn't entirely about fish. There's an exploratory quality to it as well. Casting into the water is like asking a question, and somehow an empty hook is still a satisfactory answer. After a couple hours, as the long evening rolls in, we set out for a good vantage point to do some glassing.
Maybe we should set up here for the night and just watch. We got a few hours till dark.
Yep. So talk to me a little bit about glassing. I mean, I've learned a good amount of the basic stuff from my snipers being out in the field and trying to identify targets and things like that. But as far as hunting's concerned, the high points and the low points of being on glass and what we're trying to achieve.
Usually when I sit down, I just do like a scan of the real obvious. And I'll do a lot of just looking too, because you get into this thing, and I'm guilty of this, is looking far, far away all the time. And you miss stuff that's just like, you miss the one that just standing there looking at you.
Yeah.
When I start getting down into the solid glass, and I want to break it up into strips.
Yeah, right.
Running away from us. And bears are a little bit different than other stuff because, like particularly black bears, I mean, they just like, they pop, It's just, all of a sudden he just steps out in the open and he's just glossy and,
right.
So it's not as nitpicky. There's a grizzly.
That thing looks like a tanker, man.
That's the only thing in these mountains that weighs more than you, Rorke. It's not what we're looking for. Oh man, there's a black bear hauling out of that area. Look at him, you scaredy cat.
Is that just 100% knowing that Grizz is around?
Yeah, man.
Just like smelled him, it's like, I'm out.
You don't want nothing to do with that. That thing will eat him.
Yeah.
You are not kidding about what you said earlier, though, that like there's no question that that's a bear.
No question at all. In fact, we end up seeing a couple that are either too far, too small, or too spooked by grizzlies to go after. Still, it's exciting to know that there are critters around. Of course, that excitement is tempered by seeing that grizzly. It's sobering to think that a Navy SEAL is certainly not the hardiest thing out here.
Oh man, is this a pretty spot? It just occurred to me that's kind of like nice about this entire experience is that every time in the past probably 14 years I've had a backpack and a gun walking around, I've been in charge. And the fact that you're in charge is like another treat.
Yeah.
Like I just get to hang out, enjoy the view, and learn and just spend time. You know, usually you got that burden to make the decisions. I'm happy for you to have it.
Well, now you know. Well, you know what I'm going through every minute that goes by when I'm not seeing bears.
Yeah.
I'm glad Rorke is enjoying himself because we go the whole day without seeing a thing. Then, finally, late in the evening, Rorke catches sight of one.
We got a black bear swimming across this lake over here, this little pond.
Is he out of the water?
Yeah, he just came out of the water. He's heading towards the other lake. He's just on the edge.
Oh, there he is. All right, let me take a look. Good eye.
You know why I did that? Because I feel like we got fixated over there. I'm like, this is last night when you were telling me, you're like, you know, you end up doing these long looks and then you don't look short.
You don't look short.
And you get burned. I was like, well, let me come back that lake. It felt like a little pond. It felt like a spot.
He's having a hell of a good time down there.
He is.
Boy, he's just enjoying his spring, man. I'll tell you a couple things I'm seeing right now.
Yep, yep.
I'm seeing a very light colored muzzle.
I can see it eating through the binos.
And I'm seeing a lot of like youngster type behavior.
Right.
Like just the sprinty, rolly. He just doesn't have like an old bear vibe.
Yeah.
And also, he's got a lot of leg. He's leggy-ish.
Yeah, just hadn't thickened up. Look at this bugger move. Doing flips down the hill.
I'm telling you, I've never seen that. I've never seen a bear acting out just like, just like wild for such a long time.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. Ellie sliding down the thing.
I don't know what that is. That's just enjoying life. That's what I feel like. I don't know what to make out of that. I'd like to ask somebody.
Clearly, this bear is too young and weirdly too happy to even consider bothering with. We're just gonna glass this spot out, and then if we need to, try a new spot in the morning. In the morning, we decide to head deeper into the mountains to get a look at some new country. Our route takes us up past the pond where Rorke spotted the small black bear, and I'm surprised to see that the area is beaten down with bear trails, droppings, and excavated lily pad roots from the pond. There's a lot more going on here than just a frisky little black bear passing through.
There's that trail we saw, comes like that, and then there's a nice big trail that goes like this, down into those alders. I don't want to go any deeper than this, but I mean, we could find a great vantage, which might be like up there, somewhere on that ridge where we can look down and watch this, and then maybe get where we can just see maximum amount of cover.
I mean, we're here. I'm game to stay and see if it bears fruit. And then...
Oh, grizzly. That's who's digging those roots. Doggone it.
Two of them coming
Here
out.
comes Ma. I told you someone's been using that area. We'll just sit for a while, but I don't want to have those come over here and start wanting to tear a hole through us. We were standing right in their kitchen, man. I kind of half want to let them know we're here, but I don't want them to be like, oh, what's that? Let's go check it out. I don't know how they're going to respond to the smell.
God, they unbelievable animals.
You're clacking its teeth?
Yep.
They don't like it. Oh, there they go.
Seeing those grizzlies tells me that the trail we've been looking at is theirs, and it would not be smart for us to hang around until they inevitably return. So Rorke and I hightail it out of there. At this point, we're running low on time, and I want to return to the most promising area we've found in order to give it a thorough examination. It's time to settle in for the long haul.
This is the best patch of ground we got if you combine accessibility and visibility. If a bear was motoring through here, we'd have a couple different chances to try to catch him if he was just hammering through. Rorke likes the tactical position of this spot so we can get down into our area quick.
It is. This is like the staging area for a good attack.
At this point, we kind of entered the part of the hunt that I don't really like that much, which is the patience part. Like my asset as a hunter, I feel in some ways, is just that I like to go, you know, pounding more ground, going, glass and walking glass and that kind of thing. But in this case, I just think that the thing to do is try to be in a spot and wait for a bear to come through instead of thinking I'm gonna spot one from a million miles away and put the slip on them.
We glass nonstop. I'm not lying when I tell you we sit in that one place for almost 30 hours. It's killing me resisting the temptation to move, but this is our last push, and I know it's the best option. As time drags on, with hardly a break in the daylight to separate one day from the next, I think of Robert Service's line from The Cremation of Sam McGee. There are strange things done in the midnight sun, but in this case, the bizarreness is occurring inside of my increasingly desperate mind. I'm almost ready to give up, and I'm rehearsing in my head the speech I'm gonna have to give Rorke about how sometimes hunting is little more than an exercise in managing disappointment, when suddenly, I catch a glimpse of a black dot moving across a nearby ridge.
There he is, him.
I don't see him. Talk me into it again.
He's out of view. With the wind being like it is, I would be like, well, we'll go that way and get our wind different, or go that way and get our wind different. But that's just alder-choked hellhole. Alder-choked hellhole. We're just gonna kind of push up toward him and hopefully catch him out in some open stuff. It's very iffy, but I wanna go now.
ahead, shoot. Oh, he's gonna keep going. What's wrong? Couldn't see through the weeds. He's gonna be right on top of us now. Should have got up. Yeah, you could have shot him right there. Hey, he's right here, he's right here, he's right here. I'm looking at his head.